Howdy, my horse-loving math friends. Let's talk about place value and expanded notation. So, place value is just giving a value to where the number is in the numbers. We've talked about that. For example, here we have 4,382. This is in the thousands place, the hundreds place, the tens place, and the ones place. But when they ask us to put it in expanded notation, they're wanting us to break up the number and show the value of each place. So if you can read it correctly, usually you can write it correctly. So let's look at examples. So let's say I've got 4,506 horses. And yes, let's not talk about the feed bill on that. But if I were to plug that in to my place value chart here, I can see how the 4 is in the thousands place, the 5's in the hundreds, there's nothing in the tens, there's 6 in the ones, and then I don't have anything here in my behind the decimal. So here we're going to have 4,000 written out first, plus the 5 100s. We don't need to include the tens, and then the 6. And this is expanded notation. Another way you could think about it is like when something expands, it gets bigger. So when I soak my alfalfa cubes in the water, they expand and get all fluffy on me. Okay, so now let's look at my last month's water bill watering all the animals I have on my place. So we used 243 gallons and 67 hundredths. In one day, one time, it was the heat of the summer and the horses were extra thirsty that day. So again, if we can read this correctly, usually we can write it correctly. So we're going to have 243 and the decimal is said and 67 hundredths. All right, so let's look at breaking this apart. So we're going to have 200 plus first, plus sign 40, plus 3, plus, so we're going to need a decimal 6, plus. Now this is where it might get tricky for you. So decimal 0.7 because I have to have the 7 in the hundreds place. So I've got to include this 0 for a spacer so that way it's correct. This is where it can get a little tricky for the decimals because again, we have to add a number of places. When we write the whole numbers to the left of the decimal, we can just write them how we normally write them and are more comfortable that way. So let's try another one here. So if we had, let's see, 53 hundredths, how would you write that in expanded notation? So we're going to break this apart. So first, you would start with your larger number, the 5 tenths, plus a 300. So we have to have a decimal, a spacer 0, and then the 3 in the hundreds place. Okay. Let's look at just a couple more examples. Go ahead and pause the video and try these on your own. So now let's give it see if we match on our answers. So we're going to have 82,014, and there is nothing behind the decimal. So we're going to have 80,000 plus 2,000 plus 10. This is where I'm at right here, plus 4. And then on number 2, we have 57 and 32 hundredths. So first we're going to have 50. We're in the tens. Now the ones, 7 ones. We're going to have 3 tenths. Remember my decimal there. And now we have 2 hundredths. Wonderful. Thanks for joining me and practicing your expanded form with us. We hope to see you at our school. Count your horses. In the meantime, write any questions you have below. We'd love to talk about them.